What is going on, my beautiful friends and family? Welcome back to another video here on Team Acne. I've been doing some reaction videos lately and you guys seem to really enjoy them. So today I actually wanted to react to one of my own videos that I posted quite a few years ago. That is the highest viewed video about acne that I have ever gotten. I think it has 5 million views and it's called Don't Touch Your Acne and See What Happens. So I'll explain, what's going on in the video as we watch it. I haven't seen this in a long time, so it should be interesting, and I'll add some extra, anecdotes and stuff as we watch it. But this is a really good video, and I'm really excited for you guys to see this. So what I have done is I've filmed the timeline of my zit coming up and turning into a whitehead all the way through its whole process of going away when I'm not touching it. I always preach that you should not touch a cyst or a zit or any sort of a whitehead because it will make it worse. If you pop it, if you play with it, it's going to make it worse by inflaming it. It's going to last longer. It's going to spread it out so more will be able to pop up. For someone who's like me, when I get zits or I get cysts, they stick around forever. On average, they'll stick around for at least a week, but usually it's about 2 weeks, and then the bigger, more gnarly ones are 3 or 4 weeks. But if I touch them, that number doubles. And I'm not even kidding you. I've done this a million times, and it doubles if I mess with them at all. My face is glowing in this video. That's the first thing I noticed about this. There's really good lighting. This is facing a window. A little pro tip, face a window, the light comes in through the window. Yeah. Anyways, when it comes to what I just said, when it comes to popping a pimple, whether it be a whitehead or a cyst, sometimes even like blackhead kind of like pimple hybrids, when you try to push it with your fingers together to pop it, what happens is that you apply pressure from the sides, and pressure pushes the pimple to the top, but also to the bottom. If you think about the pimple being in like a little balloon, like a little sack, when you do that, you're trying to get the top of the balloon to finally burst, right? But actually what happens is the bottom of the balloon can burst as well. And so when that happens, it actually causes more inflammation to happen, and it can make that pimple, that cyst, twice as big. And also, it has to repair both sides of the pimple now. And so then it will take, 2, 3, 4 times as long to heal up. So that's why I'm trying to tell people not to touch the pimple, because a lot of times it can heal up faster by just not popping it at all. My heads pop up on my cheek over here, and I thought this was the perfect opportunity. Now we're gonna go through the timeline and I'm gonna break it down day by day to see how the pimple kind of evolves when you don't touch it. So day 1, ground 0. Looks like we have 2 whiteheads. One is a little bit more severe, the one that is a little bit yellow, so that's the one we're gonna be focusing on, but it looks like we have 2 buddies to focus on for this little experiment. Yo, real quickly, do you guys get pimples that are sometimes purely whiteheads, like the smaller one there, and also pimples that are somewhat yellow, like the main one that we're following? I don't know why this happened. I'll look into it a little bit more and try to figure out why this happens, but yeah, I get both kinds. Do you guys get that? On day 2, depending on how big the zit or cyst is, it starts to form a scab. So I started having a little bit of a scab here. Now this is when you really got to test yourself, because you should not pick at it. If you do, it's going to make it way worse. But wait for day 3. That's when it's really, really tough not to touch it. So everything under the surface of the zit is starting to harden up and form. If I popped it or tried to pull it out right now, I'd probably get a strong core in the center of it, but it'd also leave a huge hole. It'd be bleeding a little bit, and it would definitely cause it to break out more and fill back up. So we still got to hold on and not touch this. Day 3 really is the hardest day. Not even like pop it at this point, but just kind of like scrape it with your fingernail, or just sometimes you have like little like tools and stuff that you can use for like your tweezers for your your eyelashes and stuff, but you're like, oh, I could just do that on my face and get that pimple. It's really hard. Don't do it. But it is starting to harden up, which is what we want, and is what's going to make this zit disappear as fast as possible with the least amount of markings as possible. Okay, so day 4 comes around, and this is actually a pretty fast progression. Look, the hard parts, the scabs have already come out, and this is not something that I've done. I haven't pressed on them, pulled on them, or anything like that. They've just naturally fallen out either while I was sleeping or when I was in the shower, and that's the way you want it to happen. You want them to get so hard and so ready that they just come out on their own without any of your provocations. The only reason that there's just a pink spot there instead of another zit fueling up for more is because you didn't push on it, you didn't press on it, and you didn't inflame it at all. Imagine the last time you had a decent sized cyst or zit and you tried to press it out, you tried to drain it, you tried to pinch it, you tried to get the goo out, whatever it is, and imagine how it was looking at 5 days since it came up. It was probably looking a lot more angry and irritated than this. I'm telling you guys, this method works. Can we just take a second real quick to just like say, look at those acne scars? It's really cool that this angle in this shot, because it had such a zoom lens at the time, you can see like the texture of my skin, which is really cool. A lot of times, a lot of people will say like, it doesn't look like you have any scarring from the pimples that you had in the past, or like the cystic acne that you had. And true, I definitely came out, not unscathed, but with a lot less scars than a lot of other people have with their acne. But I definitely do still have texture to my skin from the acne and acne scars that I've been working on. And I just think it's really cool that this shot really well shows it. And definitely I'm not like ashamed of it or anything like that. But it's so hard to show it sometimes, because sometimes when you're out like in the sunlight, you just can't see it as much.
Day 6 comes around and all we're left with is the ever so slightly discolored spot from where the zit first came up. You're probably wondering if I've done anything specific with products, if I've used any sort of specific cleanser or anything like that. I've used absolutely nothing but cold water this entire time. And that brings us to today, day 7 of the experiment, and we are looking great. Let's not judge my patchy beard shaving job here, because I just did it 5 seconds before I filmed this clip, and I didn't really check for the hairs, but I just wanted to show you how it is looking now. You can barely even tell that spot from any other spot on my face. Super simple, super proven, super awesome strategy. Try it out yourself and actually stick to it. I know it's hard, but you gotta give it the full try.
Yo, it's crazy. Looking at this again, I mean, I was the one who filmed this. I know exactly how it goes and everything like that and the results, but it's crazy just because when you see day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, how quickly you can see that progress happen. And, I'm someone who's had acne quite a bit, so I know not every pimple moves along. By day 3, it's already looking better, and then by day 5, 6, 7, it's like literally doesn't even look like there was a pimple there. I know. I've had pimples that have stayed for literally not weeks, but months. So I totally understand what maybe you're thinking right now, like mine wouldn't move, along that fast. But it's crazy because in this video, right there, like you can literally not tell where the pimples were if you didn't see day 1, because there's a couple other spots on my face that look exactly the same. That's crazy, and I'm just glad that I filmed this video just to kind of like demonstrate that not touching your pimple a lot of times can be the best strategy.
So there you have it, folks. That is what happens with my face when I have a pimple pop up and I don't touch it, because I used to touch it all the time and they'd stick around forever, and I found the secret, and it's legit not to touch it at all. If you don't believe me, try it on your next one and give it the full try. Don't pick at it a little bit and then pretend that you didn't. Don't touch it at all. Don't touch it even a little bit, and you're gonna see it's gonna help so freaking much. I find this information so valuable, and when I heard it, I just didn't really believe it. I didn't really commit to it, but when I finally did, I saw huge results. So I am excited to be able to use my platform to get this information out to you who actually are really suffering with it and maybe don't know that this is something that's really triggering your acne to continue getting worse and stay aggravated. I love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting me. You guys are amazing. If you haven't heard my podcast yet, just want to do a little shameless plug, brianspodcast.com. Check it out. I do an episode about every 10 days.
All right, so that looks like it's the end of the video right there. I start plugging my podcast, which I haven't worked on in a long time, but I'm going to get back to pretty soon. So if you want to check that out, it's Beyond the Podcast on the podcast app. And then also at the top, I'm like shilling out my Amazon link, amazonbrian.com, which you can still use before you buy anything on Amazon. And it gives me like a small commission. But moving along from that, man, I'm really glad that I made this video, because it ended up getting a lot of views. But if you look through the comment section, there's tons of people who say, I've tried this now and this really helped me out. Or you'll see a lot of people say like, it's really hard for me, it's really tough, but I've been working on not touching my acne as much. Or I've been working on the urge to like pop my pimples, and since doing that, it's helped a lot with how my pimples and acne moves along. Again, I know exactly how tough it is to wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, see pimples pop up, especially ones that have whiteheads, and say, I'm not going to pop those. Because the first thing that you want to do is get rid of the whiteness, because you're like, when people see the pimple, that's one thing. But when they see the whiteness, that's another thing. And I know exactly what you mean by that. It really is tough. And for me even, it's hard because like I go to the gym, I have a big old whitehead, and most of the time nobody says anything. But every once in a while someone will say like, hey man, if here's some tip, like use a sewing needle or something like that, or use some alcohol and then you can pop it really well, or like whatever it is, and they give you advice. That kind of sucks, but at the same time I'm like, I know what I'm doing. I get that you have advice. It's not the right advice for me. So sure, thanks for your tip. Maybe I'll try that, maybe I won't, whatever. But I'm not gonna do that. You know, so you just gotta stick to your guns, know what you want to do. But anyways, I just wanted to react to this video because it's been a long time since I've seen this video personally, so I thought it was fun to kind of like look at my past self. It's cool that I've been making these acne videos for so long, and now I have a complete channel, Team Acne, that you guys are watching this on, where I can make all the acne, you know, content I want, because the channel this is on is like kind of a fitness and food channel, so it's not relevant to everybody, but now I can make as much as I want to. So if you're not subscribed already, make sure that you subscribe to this channel for more acne content. And yeah, I just wanted to get this video out to you guys again for those of you who haven't seen this, because this video is quite old and it's not getting, you know, recommended as much. So I thought, you know, react to it, people get to see it, and they also get to hear what I think about this video, you know, in the future, now that I'm looking about it with a little bit of hindsight. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Have you ever tried not popping a pimple and seeing what happens? If you have, I want to hear about it in the comments below, and I'd also love to hear of other videos you'd like me to react to, whether they be my own videos or other acne videos in the YouTube realm. Let me know about those in the comments below. Give this video a big old thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Remember, you are not alone, you are beautiful, and you're a part of Team Acne. I'll see you guys next video.